Do you remember that kid from school? The one who always sat alone, head down, trying to become invisible? Or maybe, you were that kid. The truth is, what happens in the schoolyard doesn't always stay in the schoolyard, and today we're pulling back the curtain on why. Welcome to the Brain Talk Sessions YouTube channel. Your journey to a healthier mind starts here, where we share psychology explained for everyday life. Today, we are delving into a topic that affects millions and has consequences that ripple through a lifetime: school bullying. It's far more than just a fleeting childhood experience, it's a significant public health issue with deep, lasting scars. Let us explore how school bullying causes long-term damage and what we can do to foster recovery and resilience. Bullying is a pervasive and repeated pattern of aggressive behavior intended to cause harm, fear, or distress. It's not a simple disagreement or a one-off fight. It's a deliberate abuse of power. This harmful behavior can manifest in several ways. There's physical bullying, which includes hitting, pushing, or damaging someone's property. Then there's verbal bullying, characterized by relentless name-calling, insults, and threats. Relational bullying is more subtle but just as damaging. It involves social exclusion, spreading malicious rumors, and manipulating friendships to isolate a target. And in our digital age, cyberbullying has emerged as a particularly insidious form, where harassment follows its victims home through social media, texts, and online forums, offering no escape. One of the greatest barriers to addressing this issue is the widespread tendency to underestimate its severity. Society often dismisses bullying with phrases like "kids will be kids" or sees it as a natural rite of passage. This attitude is not only outdated but incredibly dangerous. It normalizes cruelty and communicates to victims that their suffering is insignificant. When bullying is downplayed or ignored, the profound emotional and psychological wounds it inflicts are left to fester, often persisting and shaping an individual's life well into adulthood. This is not just a schoolyard problem, it's a foundational trauma that can derail a person's entire developmental trajectory. To truly understand the impact of bullying, we must first look into the psychology behind why bullies act the way they do. The motivations are complex and often stem from deep-seated personal issues. Many bullies grapple with profound insecurity and low self-esteem, using aggression as a way to feel powerful and in control. They may lack empathy, unable to comprehend or connect with the pain they inflict on others. Often, this behavior is learned. Bullies may come from home environments where aggression, manipulation, or a lack of emotional expression is the norm. They are, in a sense, modeling the behavior they see from parents or older siblings. Furthermore, peer reinforcement plays a crucial role. When classmates laugh at a bully's jokes or remain silent bystanders, their inaction is perceived as approval, strengthening the bully's behavior and solidifying the cycle of aggression. Bullying is rarely a random act, it's deeply intertwined with the social hierarchies that form within school communities. These environments often function like micro-societies with their own power dynamics. Bullies, through intimidation and dominance, can climb the social ladder, gaining status, attention, and a following. Their victims, in turn, are pushed to the margins, becoming isolated and stigmatized. This dynamic reveals that bullying is a systemic issue, not just an individual one. It's a reflection of a group's unspoken rules about who belongs and who doesn't, who has power and who is rendered powerless. Understanding this social context is vital to dismantling the structures that allow bullying to thrive. The immediate consequences for victims of bullying are often devastating and multifaceted. Emotionally and mentally, the toll is immense. Victims frequently experience heightened levels of anxiety, persistent sadness that can develop into depression, and a crushing sense of loneliness and isolation. The constant state of alert, never knowing when the next attack will come, can lead to chronic stress, manifesting in physical symptoms like headaches, stomach aches, and severe sleep disturbances. Many children develop a genuine fear of attending school, an environment that is supposed to be safe but has become a source of torment. This emotional turmoil inevitably spills over into their academic lives. It is incredibly difficult to focus on learning when your mind is consumed with fear, humiliation, and dread. Bullying directly interferes with a student's ability to concentrate in class, diminishes their motivation to complete assignments, and often leads to increased absenteeism as they try to avoid their tormentors. Consequently, grades may plummet, and a student who was once engaged and curious may become completely disengaged from the learning process, robbing them of their educational potential. While the short-term effects are alarming, the long-term psychological consequences of bullying are what truly underscore its gravity as a public health crisis. The trauma of being bullied in childhood doesn't simply vanish with a high school diploma, it embeds itself in the psyche and can cast a long shadow over a person's adult life. Survivors of bullying are at a significantly higher risk for developing chronic mental health issues. This includes long-term depression, generalized anxiety disorders, panic attacks, and in severe cases, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, with symptoms like flashbacks, nightmares, and emotional numbness that mirror those experienced by combat veterans. The constant feeling of being unsafe can lead to a lifetime of hypervigilance and social withdrawal. The damage also extends to an individual's core sense of self and their ability to connect with others. Years of being told you are worthless, unlikable, or different can lead to deeply ingrained feelings of inadequacy and a shattered self-esteem that is difficult to rebuild. This can impact career ambitions, personal goals, and the courage to pursue new experiences. Furthermore, the betrayal and cruelty experienced at the hands of peers can breed a profound distrust of others. Survivors may find it incredibly challenging to form healthy, secure relationships in adulthood. They might struggle with intimacy, constantly fear betrayal, or have difficulty believing that others can genuinely care for them, perpetuating a cycle of isolation that began in the school hallways. The repercussions of bullying extend beyond the individual, creating significant societal and economic impacts. From a public health perspective, the increased prevalence of anxiety, depression, and PTSD among survivors leads to a greater demand for mental health services. This translates to higher healthcare costs, including expenses for therapy, medication, and crisis support, placing a substantial strain on our healthcare systems. In the professional world, the long-term effects of bullying can manifest as workplace challenges. Adults who were bullied as children may struggle with issues that hinder their careers. They might exhibit lower productivity due to ongoing mental health struggles, have difficulty with teamwork and collaboration stemming from social anxiety and trust issues, or experience higher rates of absenteeism. In some unfortunate cases, the cycle of behavior can perpetuate itself. A small but significant number of victims, having learned that aggression is a tool for survival or control, may develop aggressive tendencies themselves. This can lead to them becoming bullies in their own families, communities, or workplaces, thus continuing a destructive and costly cycle. Thankfully, we are not powerless against bullying. There are effective coping strategies and solutions that can create safer environments and help victims heal. At the institutional level, school interventions are paramount. This involves implementing and rigorously enforcing clear, zero-tolerance anti-bullying policies. Programs that foster empathy and social-emotional learning, along with peer support systems where students are trained to be upstanders rather than bystanders, are critical for changing school culture. Comprehensive teacher and staff training is also essential to ensure that adults can recognize the subtle signs of bullying and intervene effectively and compassionately. Parental involvement is another cornerstone of prevention and support. It is crucial for parents to create a home environment where children feel safe to have open and honest conversations about their experiences. Talking about empathy, kindness, and respect from a young age helps build a strong moral foundation. In the modern world, this also means actively monitoring a child's online behavior and teaching them about digital citizenship and the dangers of cyberbullying. When parents are engaged, they can spot warning signs early and advocate for their child. For those who have already been impacted, therapy and resilience building are vital paths to recovery. Professional counseling, particularly trauma-informed therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can help victims process their experiences, challenge negative self-perceptions, and develop healthy coping mechanisms. Building resilience is also key. Practices like mindfulness can help manage anxiety, while participating in activities that build confidence, like sports, arts, or volunteering, can help rebuild self-esteem. Social skills training and mentorship programs can provide a safe space to practice forming positive relationships, helping survivors reclaim their ability to trust and connect with others. It's time we collectively recognize bullying for what it is, not a temporary childhood phase, but a serious public health issue with devastating and lasting consequences. The pain it inflicts can shape a person's mental health, relationships, and overall life trajectory for decades. It is a scar on our collective conscience that we can no longer afford to ignore. We all have a role to play in stopping it. Let's commit to raising awareness, supporting anti-bullying initiatives in our schools and communities, and, most importantly, fostering environments of kindness, empathy, and respect where every child feels safe, valued, and seen. Thank you for joining us today on Brain Talk Sessions. Remember to be kind to one another, and we'll see you in the next video.